Manicure time. Finally, I made some time for myself and I'm going to do my manicure using these simple tools. So this is becoming a weekly thing where I will show you guys how to use different tools. So I'm going to be doing my own manicures, my own weekly manicures with different tools. So just to show you that you don't need a specific tool, you have to use whatever is comfortable for you. And I'm going to show you how I use all these tools. So this is called actually Curette. Has this, I don't even know how to call it, this little tip. I just washed my hands, so my hands are a little wet. This little cheapy file that works great actually. This is a cuticle nippers from Tweezerman. They're excellent stainless cobalt. And I'm going to use Lucrosse, the usual, and I'm going to use the OPI repair mode because I've been testing it. So before I start the manicure, I'm going to apply the Lucrosse, the repair mode. That's how you're supposed to use it. And as usual, sorry for moving, I do my manicure on my lap. I have to say, I've used it a few times now, and my nails feel smoother. They don't feel harder necessarily, but they feel smoother. I have to say the brush is a little bit too long. I'm not too crazy about the length of the brush, but it's been a week and a half. And the length of my nails is starting to bother me. So I'm so happy that I can do my manicure today. Another interesting thing is that I took the polish off like 2 days ago. And I'm noticing that without polish, and I've mentioned that in the past, that without polish, my nails get more flat looking. So I'm curious if you guys experience the same thing. So wearing nail polish kind of changes the shape of the nail a little bit. They're not as flat. And I had someone in the past mention that when they take nail polish off, the nails hurt. And I have to say, not that they're hurting me, but I have noticed that, I guess because they're more flat, I'm feeling it. I can't even explain to you why. And I think what it is, it's just that change in flexibility is something that maybe we have to get used to. I don't know. I just wanted to say that I do feel it. Also, when you take nail polish off, the nails dry out more. So this is, I think, why they get more flat. And then the white part becomes more white because when they're more saturated with water, because there's water that goes from the nail bed up and gets trapped under the nail polish. So basically, when the companies are saying that their polish is hydrating, that goes for any polish on the market because most of the polishes have nitrocellulose as a film forming ingredient, and nitrocellulose is semi-occlusive, so it traps some of the water. So all polishes will hydrate the nail, right? So they can't dehydrate the nails. Think about it. The nail polish actually raises the moisture level in the nail. So all nail polishes are hydrating. But what the nails are actually needing is the oil, so not necessarily the water. Okay, so I'm going to shape my nails. So this nail was damaged. The damaged part pretty much has grown out now. And someone had asked me why I use the file on an angle. Can you see? So when I'm doing it, it's almost I'm doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm doing this. Because that way, okay, I can shorten the nail a little bit and then get underneath. Because this way you are shaping round when you get underneath, like this. So I'm going to shorten. I like my nails short. I'm so used to short nails. Someone asked me if I ever had my nails long. I actually have. But for the last quite a few years, I have them much, much shorter. This file is actually, I think, from Mercadona. So like a package of these files was maybe €1 or something. I don't know the grid. Probably like 180 here. Probably 100 here, so this the other side is a little coarse. So now if you have some hard skin, not necessarily dry skin, but hard skin, you can kind of go and just smooth it. Don't try to remove dry skin. But hard skin sometimes bothers people, so you can just gently smooth it. As I say in many of my videos, and I'm going to repeat again, filing back and forth is not bad for the nails. What's bad for the nails is damaged surface. When the surface of the nail is damaged, it's going to start peeling. And also, if you file with a coarser file, like this is 180 or something, I don't even know, the end feels a little, not very smooth. So this is why you see me using a buffer at the end. And a buffer hugs the nail, right? So if you have a file, the file is straight like this. A buffer would hug the nail and it's going to bevel the nail. So by the way, this is my own buffer. I don't throw them away after I use them myself, obviously, but for clients, yes. Now, as you can see now very clearly that the nail bed on some of my nails, most of my nails, is pretty uneven. So what I do is I usually start with the longest part. So I divide the nail into two and I kind of shape one side first to make it nice, and then I just repeat that shape on the other side. So yes, the white is not going to be very even, but whatever. I'm not trying to, achieve perfection here. These are natural nails. They are a little bit imperfect. It's fine. You know what? The older I am, the more okay I am with some imperfections. Like, improvement is good, but trying to achieve perfection, you pretty much will never get there. So I concentrate on progress. If I see progress, I'm very happy. And sometimes, you realize that progress is not linear, right? So sometimes you have good days, sometimes you have bad days. Sometimes you know how to file, everything turns out beautifully. And sometimes, it doesn't. That's normal. Just keep doing what you're doing. And I really do recommend doing weekly manicures. It makes things so much easier. You learn how to do these things much better because you're practicing more often. Imagine learning to play piano. No one can teach you, no one can put that knowledge in your head. You have to practice. And I think very often people are asking for to teach them, to show them, and they think just showing or teaching is going to make them good at what they're doing. And it's really not the case. You have to practice. Shaping, it becomes much more consistent. Just keep practicing. And this is why the weekly manicures are much, much better to do. You have barely anything to do. You don't have to change the shape. Usually you don't have any broken nails, because if you keep the shape consistent and the shape works with your lifestyle, then it's all good. Okay, the other hand. By the way, the Rescue Repair Mode, my God, I keep saying Rescue because Rescue RX CND makes, and I've used it for a long time. So the LPI Repair Mode, it's supposed to be used at the beginning of the manicure because it's supposed to sit on the nail for 10 minutes. So let's just say that it will take me 10 minutes to shape my nails, let's just say. If not, then you can just apply, if you're faster at shaping or shortening your nails, then maybe apply the repair mode before your manicure, and then just take your time with your manicure. Many people are commenting on they're a little confused about how to use it because it says, well, it says 6 days and then what? So I think after 6 days, you're going into like a maintenance mode, right? So after 6 days, you can then use it weekly before your manicure, which makes total sense. I like to look at the nails from different angles. So sometimes from this angle and sometimes from this angle, it just helps. This nail, well, this finger here gets sometimes a little calloused. By the way, the best thing for these little calluses and for the hard skin is, of course, prevention, so the carousel. But if there is still a piece that's driving you crazy, and then this is how I get rid of it or smooth it. And again, at this point, because you're filing, there's lots of dust. So don't think that anything that's dusty is necessarily dry, okay? So, and then don't try to remove dry skin. Try to feel for the surface. If it feels fine, if it feels smooth, then just let it be. This finger is so wonky. It's from me working and putting pressure, right? Because when I'm doing, when I'm working with e-file, there's constant pressure and the bone actually gets thicker, right? In response to that pressure. I have to say, I like doing my manicures. It's like peace and quiet. It feels so good once the manicure is done. This nail has such a long nail bed. I wish all my nails were like that, but they're not. By the way, these files, you cannot really sanitize them because they're paper or wood inside, so I reuse them. They're fine. You can maybe spray them with alcohol if you want to. And for your own use, that's fine. If I used it on clients, I actually did for a little bit just to see how they work. And then I would just give them to the client, because they can't be sanitized properly. And you can't keep them for next use, because that's kind of gross when you think about it. It's like going to a dentist and they're saying, oh yeah, your name is Anna. Okay, let's just look for your dirty tools and just use those dirty tools. That's fine, it's your own cooties. No, it's not a good idea. Actually, in Canada, that was forbidden. You couldn't do that. You couldn't have the boxes with old dirty tools. I don't know. It's kind of gross when you think about it. Sometimes the clients would offer, I mean, bless their heart, they would say, oh, I'll just bring the file for the next time. I'm like, no, it's okay, just keep it. Because we don't know how the clients, maybe they'll keep it like on the bottom of their purse with, you know, I don't know, with their cigarettes and money and everything else. Okay, so the shape is what it is. By the way, too, when you have the nails polished, they extend a little bit. So the nail bed gets a little bit longer. And then when you take the polish off, it shortens again. Okay, so I'm going to use this tool, show you how to use it. So first I'm going to use this little tool to just push, nudge back. I keep saying push, but I really want to say nudge back the living skin. I talk about it quite a bit, about what is cuticle and what is living skin. I like to use this actually on an angle a little bit, because you don't want to be like shoving this underneath that skin. You just want to be nudging it back safely, because You have to be gentle with this area, because this is the matrix area underneath the skin fold. Your body produces the nail, so you don't want to have any inflammation in that area, because if you do, then the nail sometimes can suffer. Sometimes it doesn't get formed properly, and you end up with ridges. So usually on camera, it's interesting. So this is pretty dull, I have to say. Like, my skin gets a little stuck. So I prefer something a little bit sharper, but then again, the sharper it is, sometimes the more damage. This is how I hold it, people can create. And I forgot what I was saying. It'll come back to me. Okay, that's done. So I try to do this, and I usually do this with the wooden stick, because I find I have them in the bathroom, and they're just, you know, even if you drop it, it's not going to break, it's not going to bend, and they're pretty safe to, you know, I actually like this better for this purpose. It just gives me a better edge or something. So these things are great. You can actually do a very good manicure just with this little stick. Some of them are cut differently. So this one is, let's see, like this. Some of them are the square. I think I prefer this one. So what I'm doing now, I'm not trying to scrape the cuticle and shove it underneath the skin here. I'm just trying to, actually I'm leaving the cuticle, can you see? So this white here underneath is cuticle. So I'm trying to move that skin away so I can see the cuticle again, gently. Now that that's done, Blue Cross. Blue Cross comes in a big bottle usually, so I put it in the dropper. Some people use a Q-tip, that works too, and I sometimes use a Q-tip as well. So I put a bead and move it around. Actually, you can point your fingers down so it kind of drips down the sides of the nail. So for this purpose, I'm going to do one hand at a time. And now I'm going to wait, I don't know, for my nails it's 2 minutes. You don't want to be leaving this product on your nails for more than 2 minutes, because it's a very alkaline product and it can irritate the skin. Yeah, I'm going to spray with water, but you can actually just have a bowl with water and dip your fingers in the water and make sure that you get the product off. I'm going to do this twice. And you don't have to dry your hands like terribly well, because having a little bit of moisture on the skin helps. So now what I do is I mean, everybody works differently with these tools. So I do these little circles with kind of this angle, almost like a high angle. So first from the middle down, I angle it from the middle down. I find I don't mind. I mean, it's not my favorite tool, and I don't mind working with this tool on my own nails, but I'm not a huge fan of this tool for clients. I don't know why. So what we're doing here is we are removing the cuticle from the nail plate. So the cuticle is the dead skin cells that actually come up from underneath the skin fold. So these little cells are not a part or an extension of the skin fold. They actually are coming underneath, from underneath. And why do we remove cuticle? Well, we remove cuticle for cosmetic reasons. You don't have to remove it if you're not polishing your nails. So if you're not polishing your nails and you want your nails to look nice and neat, just nudging back that living skin is all you need to do. But for the purpose of wearing nail polish, you definitely want that area without any dead skin cells, because the polish is not going to go on very evenly if there is a whole bunch of like dead skin cells stuck onto the nail plate. So sometimes I get questions and people are asking me, why do I buff around the cuticle area? And I'm not sure if you can see, but sometimes, probably you can, you have these little, I don't know, pieces. So I try to be gentle with the nail and not to scrape too much, because you can scrape your nail as well. So what I like to do is, after I finish removing the cuticle, I just go with the buffer block and just very gently smooth that area. Can you see these little flakies sometimes? Yeah. So I like to have that area very nice and smooth before I put polish on. That way the polish does not catch on things, on these little skin cells. Place the hands down and wait 2 minutes. So now I'm going to hold this tool like this to have a little bit more control. And I'm going to put this finger for some balance, because I think it's just difficult to be kind of going like this, although I guess it's possible. It's possible. But I like to have a little bit more balance. And this is the key to even polish the nails really, really, really well, is to balance that pinky. It's interesting. This tool is actually pretty good. You know what happened here? I picked it a bit. When you pick, it frays. This is what happens. But I'm not perfect either. I pick sometimes. Please let me know in the comment section if you've ever used this tool and what you think about it. Not bad. I like to wipe, as you can see, to have a good, to see what's going on, because if you kind of create a lot of, you know, if there's a lot of skin on a nail, you don't know what you're doing. You can't see a clear picture of what's going on. Okay, so viewers are asking me what skirts are. This is a skirt. Somehow when you're filing, sometimes part of that nail gets underneath and then it sticks out once you, actually you can use this for gentle cleaning. You just have to be very careful with cleaning underneath the nails. It's better to use a brush because you don't want to be damaging this seal. Hyponychium. Not bad. Very, very gentle. Okay. Now the buffer block and beveling and free edge. So I'm holding the buffer this way. And you know what, you're right. Like when you file with just a regular file, the edges are not perfect. But let me tell you, once you buff the edge like this edge is perfect. Yeah, it feels really good. Okay, on the other hand. Yeah, super nice and smooth. And now, very gently, the cuticle area. So I'm going to not go like this because now you're filing the whole surface of the nail. I'm just going with the edge, with the softer one I'm going to use. Just like this. By the way, I have the link to these blocks in the description box. They're bigger normally, but I cut them into 4. Because normally for clients, I throw them away after each use. But for myself, I reuse them. Piece of skin. .99% alcohol. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this towel to wipe my nails. Just like this. You don't need special pads, nothing. It's like even kitchen towel, probably it's the best. Something that you've washed many times. Won't have fluffs. And the usual nail art. I'm kidding. I'm going to use this. It's nitrocellulose free. So if you are in Europe, I recommend this because it's a really nice, quick drying nail polish. And if you just enjoy wearing a clear nail polish, this is great. Although it peels very quickly. For some reason, all the nail polishes that are nitrocellulose free tend to peel. But whatever, the repainting takes a minute. So usually it lasts about 3 days. So which is perfect because then I repaint it once without doing any manicure, and then I remove it, take a day off, and I redo my manicure. If you are in the US and if you want clear coat, that is very, very gentle. So anybody with damaged nails or with nails that are prone to surface damage, 1 coat of the base coat and 1 coat of the top coat. The base coat by itself is not going to hold. It soaks in right away almost, and it's not going to last. So you want the base coat and top coat. This dries extremely fast. I use it on some of my clients that just like clear coat and have nails that are more prone to damage. It works really, really good. I'm going to show you how I pick it up. Just swirl the brush, clean it off one end. This way I have a nice amount of product. Catrice has nice brushes too. And when I redip the brush, I don't put it all the way into the bottle. I'll show you in a second. I just dip it halfway and pick it up. By the way, there is nothing necessarily bad about nitrocellulose. It's actually a very good film forming ingredient. It lasts really well, it has a nice shine and all that, but unfortunately it tends to, apparently, yellow the nails, which I personally don't like because I like wearing clear nail polish, so the yellowing really shows. So I like to use the nitrocellulose-free nail polishes. Also, the nitrocellulose-free polishes, they tend to be more gentle on the nails. I don't know why, but they are. Especially for pedicures, I find my clients now don't have any yellowing and way less surface damage on their toes. But, I mean, it's still a coating, and I do recommend taking it off after 6 days on the hands, and then like 2-3 weeks maybe on the toes, once a month for sure. Because I think what it is, so it's not the hydration that we need, or our nails need. Well, they do, but obviously the moisture builds up because the coating makes, like, seals the nail, right? But I think what we need is, we need oils, and we're not getting the oils when the polish is on the nails. So maybe that's why the fact that we're lacking lipids, so the nails don't have the oil, because normally if you don't have any nail polish on your nails, the nails will receive oil from your skin and hair. But that's not happening when you have especially a thick coating. When you only have one coat, I feel that maybe some of the oil does penetrate, especially jojoba. It has such small molecule, but I'm not sure really if that's the case or not. But I find to usually like a one coat of clear nail polish not as problematic for majority of people. Still have some product on the brush. Going to dip halfway, pull it out, wiping one side. This polish has a different smell. It smells like, I don't know, different. For some, I always pick up a little bit more product. Hope you can see what I'm doing. I highly suggest, recommend using the clear nail polish first, and once you get good with clear nail polish, then you can polish your nails with colors. Because if you make a lot of mess with the red nail polish, it is difficult to clean, I have to say. Okay, so now I'm going to give the nails like 3 minutes, and then I'll apply oil. And now the oil. So normally I actually show my clients how much oil they should be using after each hand wash. So I'm going to repeat it here as well. So 1 drop is enough. This is still a little bit wet for all the nails, but after the manicure I actually do put a little bit more oil. I don't know why, I just like it that way. So drop per nail. when it comes to the oils, you can actually mix your own oils. If you use them quite a bit, especially if you're doing the warm oil soaks, I really do recommend just buying jojoba oil, and then you can add some avocado oil if you want, just a little bit. Avocado is a little bit heavier, so just small amount. And you can also add grapeseed oil. Grapeseed is fantastic. It's very, very light. And I have so many people asking me about olive oil. Olive oil is much heavier. It does not absorb as quickly. So for the purpose of the warm oil soaks, and I'm going to leave the link to a warm oil soak video, which is really, really important. I highly recommend doing these soaks. They are wonderful for your nails. But for that purpose, I would definitely recommend just pure jojoba and not olive oil. So jojoba with some grapeseed oil or even sunflower oil. And then for using it, and then you can grab that mixture that you already made, and you can just use it daily and after each hand wash. Just one little drop, put it on the skin. You can even wipe your hands in a towel. These oils are very, very light, so they're not going to make your hands greasy, and it makes a huge difference for the skin around the nails, okay? Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Bye.